That's the definition of people pleaser.
And you never corrected her?
That called you Kiara for
You
4
never
months.
corrected her. And
Never.
then we would start calling you Kiara.
Eventually.
We would start calling you Kiara just to rub it in. Do you remember that?
I do.
Yeah,
I
we'd be like,
do.
yeah, Kiara, what do you think about that?
Oh, Kiara's in the bathroom right now. She'll be back.
Oh, yeah. Are you looking for Kiara? Yeah, us too.
I don't know why I never corrected her, but I was just I'm gonna.
You just didn't want her to feel bad, but it just kept going.
Yeah,
it was probably a solid.
Literally
month.
never stopped. Oh, I think it was longer.
She probably
than that.
still
I think it was longer than that. Hey, it's Casey.
I'm Meredith.
And this is Kiara.
And we're 3 best friends in a long-distance relationship.
We've learned some valuable lessons along the way over the last 10 years of being friends.
Now let's get to it because...
Hi guys.
Hey.
Welcome to episode 15 of the It's Been Forever podcast. Can you believe we're at episode 15?
Honestly,
That's wild.
I can't.
Is it episode 15?
I can't. Yeah. Whoa. Crazy. Anyway, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Kiara.
And I'm Meredith.
And I'm Casey.
And we have a really exciting episode for you today. I know we say that all the time, but like it just keeps getting better.
Yeah.
So if you're new here, welcome. If you are an OG from the beginning, all first 15 episodes, welcome back. And if you are not new, you probably know that we've alluded to this kind of concept that I didn't really watch a lot of movies or shows growing up that these two have. And they, like to make fun of me for that. And I would say the number is significantly lower for the movies that I have watched and you guys have not watched. I think we would agree with that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But there are some. So we have been challenged within our trio, our friendship, to watch these 3 separate movies, and we're going to talk about them on the podcast today. So if you're a movie fan, I think you're going to really love this. And even if you're not, I think you're going to really love this because it's going to be fun, all the things.
When did this start? Should we say how it started?
I think it was like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
We were talking about things that ended that we didn't like the way they ended.
Yes,
and I
it
talked
was
about Grey's Anatomy.
Mayor brings down the mood.
Yes.
Segment.
And then Kiera, you said, "Oh, A Star is Born, this," and I was like, "Oh, I've never seen that before." And then you guys were like,
"Yeah." It just was shocking because you love music, so it was like,
right. And then I told you I didn't want to watch it because everyone was into it, and that bugs me when everyone's into something. And then I was like, you guys really wanted me to watch it, and I said, "Okay, I will." So I'll take my headphones off and I'll ignore this part, and then I promise I'll watch it. And then I didn't. And then we all know that Kiara didn't watch SpongeBob because her childhood sucked. Apparently.
No. Okay.
So,
well, it didn't suck, but I did not watch that much TV.
Meredith and I challenged her to watch the SpongeBob movie, the first one.
Yeah.
And then we, through all this, found out that Meredith had never seen Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Like the OG one.
Yeah.
And we were like, that's not going to fly.
Right.
So we all found a movie that we hadn't watched, and then I made us all raise our right hands. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I do remember.
I do.
Swear
I have that ingrained.
to watch it by the end of September. And I don't think any of us actually did watch it by the end of September, but we did all watch it.
I just watched it before.
That's what brings us here today.
And it's October 4th.
And I watched mine last night. So.
I actually did watch mine the last day of September. So
good job.
Just saying,
oh wow,
overachiever. And it was like, it did feel like college. Like, and also for those of you who are new, we went to college together, so we have a lot of memories of late nights doing things in the wee hours. And it honestly did remind me of that because it felt like I was procrastinating to the very last day, last second, but I got it done regardless. So.
And I got mine done last night, and I was feeling guilty. And then Mary's like, "Oh, I'm watching it today," and I was like, "Woo,
you guys
said,
"Oh, I'm gonna be a little late to recording," and I'm like, "Good, because I still have 10 minutes left on this thing." So, yeah, seriously,
that actually,
it was
you
like
didn't say
it
that.
was like
it all works out.
In my head, it was like 8:00, and I still had like 40 minutes, and I was like, "Well, it's God. That's God, baby."
That is
so
actually
funny.
really, really funny.
So funny.
Oh boy.
Okay, well, like we said, we have 3 different movies we're going to discuss today, and we decided that we're going to have Kiera go first. And again, Kiera watched a SpongeBob movie.
Yes.
Mare and I probably quote SpongeBob in our everyday, like, personal lives without each other.
Absolutely.
A lot. Together constantly, and we love talking about it, and Kiera doesn't know what we're talking about.
60% of the reels that we send to each other are SpongeBob related, but we also send them in the group chat with Kiera, and knowing that she doesn't know anything about it,
just to make her mad, and then we'll be like, Kiera, what do you think about this? And she's like,
and I'm like, what is a freaking
so now
goober,
you'll have a little bit of context.
I honestly, that was my goal and my motivation watching it, was not only can I cross it off my list, but also now I feel like I have a new bond with you guys. I can throw out some little one-liners, which actually I don't remember any of the one-liners, so that might not work. But yeah, we're going to dive into my movie first, just because it's going to be a fun one to begin. So SpongeBob the movie, I watched this with my boyfriend, and he's also a SpongeBob fan. Like, I do feel like most millennials, I will preface that, are SpongeBob fans. I just personally never watched it when I was younger. So some of the things that I will say about the movie, if you are a diehard fan like you guys, not sorry for maybe some of my reflections. I will preface though and say, like, I just don't have that nostalgia, because I watched it and I thought it was great, but I wasn't like, this is the best thing ever. I was just like, okay, I don't never have to watch that again, because I just don't feel like it has the nostalgia part. But okay, let me talk.
Hey, I get it.
Yeah,
I do get it, but
I know. I'm sorry, but
out.
I'm gonna round it out with a nice thing. So, SpongeBob movie, a thing that actually confused me, because my only history with SpongeBob is little snippets here and there. So I knew who, like, Sandy Bottom,
Sandy Cheeks.
Sandy Cheeks. LOL. Don't even know what it is. Sorry, Sandy Cheeks. Sorry.
You should have taken notes.
Yeah,
I should have, but I was just trying to take it all in. SpongeBob, Patrick, whatever. Okay, I get the characters, but shush. But what I didn't know was at the beginning it was like real people. I didn't know that. That's how little I know.
The beginning of the movie.
The beginning of the movie. Yeah. So I was really shocked when it went. I was like, is this the actual movie? And then it like panned down and it was like the animation. And I was like, oh, that's kind of fun that they have little bows. So I thought that was cute.
Blue Lagoon.
Okay, I'm trying to like.
I'm holding back from singing some of the songs.
I know.
I'm already.
Yeah, don't.
I already have like 12 quotes going on.
And also, this is the movie. I don't know what 12 seasons there are, so I'm sure there's a ton of things that I don't know. The biggest thing that I took away was I don't know if I'm a goofy goober, and I'm sorry for saying that. But
no, it's okay.
I don't know.
It takes a special type of person to be a goofy goober.
And I wanted to come back and be like, I'm
a
here
goofy goober, rock.
And I get that now. Oh, wait, isn't that the song that you guys were singing, I think, last episode? Yes, and now I get it.
Now you get it.
And I thought that was funny.
I'm a goofy goober, yeah.
They're like drying up.
And
it's so sad.
Make a heart. And then the electrical socket goes off, and then the sprinklers, and then they become...
They all from his tear.
Actually, that part
and everything
kind of freaked me out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, how, like, children, I was kind of freaked out. The look of SpongeBob when he was shriveling up, I was like, they're dying.
I mean, he looked like a dry sponge.
Yeah, and it was kind of sad.
He's personified, and so it's a little creepy.
Yeah, I didn't like that part. Okay, the part with the celebrity, I can't think of his name right now. That David Hasselhoff. When his like cheek. Chest bones pushed together,
so he puts them
into the bottom.
Yes, he puts them, listeners, in between his his pecs, and he launches them down to the sea by like clenching them and releasing.
Hilarious!
It is so good.
I will say that was the most off the cusp part of the movie.
No, and I had
no idea that was
when
coming.
They're like riding on him, and then the sword like goes in his butt cheek or something like that, and he's like, "Careful back there, fellas."
Careful back there. Yes.
Can you tell? Yes. I just watched this way too many times. I'm so glad you've seen
frame
it
by
now.
frame.
And he's like a robot, and he's like out of the water, like elevated.
That was the most.
And somehow going like 50 miles an hour, like a speedboat.
So fast. And he wasn't even breaking a sweat. He was just laughing.
And now that I'm an adult, I can understand like, oh, that's funny also because of like Baywatch. Like he's like a lifeguard, you know, but as a kid, I was like, who's this guy?
This is random.
I just thought he was some rando, and I was like, I don't care who you are, but you're
David
funny.
Hasselquist? What?
Hasselquist.
So, Kira, talk us through what you felt like about the main plot. Like, do you feel like like just walk us through?
Maybe to explain the plot for the listener who has not seen it.
Okay,
and I would hope that a majority of our listeners have seen it, and if you haven't,
unsubscribe.
If you haven't and you're in the Kira category here, welcome.
You have to watch it.
Okay, well, I don't know if I'm going to be the best at just explaining the plot, but going back through the movie, the whole point I feel like was finding the crown to bring it back so that they could unfreeze Mr. Krabs? Is that his name? No,
Mr. Krabs. Well, I guess Mr. Krabs too, but also no, it is Mr. Krabs, but also
the king.
The king.
Yeah,
the king. And so like they go on this journey to try to find it because Mr. Krabs was falsely accused, and SpongeBob really wanted to be manager of, I want to say the Rusty Bucket, but that's a legit place. What is it called? I'm butchering this, and I apologize. It is?
You're Krusty Krab.
You're thinking of
the Chum Bucket is across the street.
Oh, the Chum Bucket. That's what I'm thinking of.
That's the enemy.
Sorry.
The Rusty Bucket.
Okay, the Rusty Police is like an actual like restaurant. I did get a little freaked out again, like all of the buckets on everybody's heads, and Plankton was controlling everyone. That was kind of interesting to me. But I get the plot because there's always like a bad or a plot twist or someone evil trying to destroy the good. And so
hell Plankton.
So I didn't really know what was going to come out of that because I knew who Plankton was, but I actually didn't know honestly what his goal was. So to see that fully in action, trying to...
Do you know what his goal is?
Didn't he want to recreate the recipe?
The Krabby Patty formula.
For what?
The Krabby Patty formula.
Yeah, the formula to, I don't know, just to get fame or something? Just to have it?
He just wants the Krabby Patty formula.
Yeah. That's it.
Give me the formula.
ravioli, give me the formula.
Okay.
Give me the formula.
Colton kept making fun of Plankton when he was with his little nubby hands, and it kind of made me sad, but it was kind of funny.
I like that.
So anyways, I liked that angle, and that was fun. I didn't really get though that, again, I'm kind of blanking on his name, but like the big macho guy that when they stepped out of like their world, he was like on a big motorbike and he was trying to like get him.
The beggar guy.
Yeah, what was like the point of that?
He was like a hitman.
Yeah.
Like he was hired to take him out.
Oh,
by Plankton, right?
Plankton?
Mm-hmm, by Plankton. Because they I think everyone thought they were too stupid to actually get it done.
Oh, yeah.
But just in case, they hired a hitman to make sure that they didn't arrive at the destination.
Okay. Literally, it seems like I didn't actually watch it, but I promise I did. What did the lady in the crowd, they were talking about SpongeBob and like calling him all of these names, and then the one lady yells out like the most outrageous thing. Do you remember what that line was? It was like, SpongeBob, you are X, Y, and Z,
like
and this is why.
At the beginning?
At the beginning. Okay, I'm going to have to look this up because that actually cracked me up. But I did feel a little sympathy for SpongeBob because it made me feel like when you're really hopeful for something or you feel like you're deserving of something, like SpongeBob really thought he deserved to be manager, and then he fully believed it so much that he was like so in such disbelief when it didn't actually come to fruition. I was like, that's actually like a lot of emotion right there. Like that made me sad for him. And I know in the end it turned out fine and he, ended up getting the job. But I'm like, it's a lot of like soul searching. This quest for him was like for himself. It wasn't only to, for the king, but I do believe that it was for his own self to prove his worth
and
to his peers.
For Princess Mindy.
She was funny.
Which I love. I looked up a picture of her. I love that Princess Mindy is like kind of a nerd.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Yeah.
Like I love that it's
not. She
got
some curves. I like that she got some curves.
Yes. Too. Thank you, Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have to ask you, what was your favorite song from the movie?
Yes.
Or what's maybe one that sticks in your head the most?
I mean, obviously the one that is the Goofy Goober song is just the Goofy Goober rock.
Yeah.
Specifically.
That was very
definitely good. Does just come to mind. So I feel like that one. And I mean, truthfully, if you would have said Goofy Goober like you have before, I'm like, that doesn't ring a bell. And now what I'm envisioning is especially the scene where like they're with all the like biker gang people, and then it pans to the two guys who are like breaking a sweat trying to not sing the song. I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. Do you remember that?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So I feel like that is the song.
I like that.
Just the classic.
Casey, what's your favorite song from the movie?
Honestly, that one. And then my favorite scene specifically is when Patrick is wearing fishnet tights.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he does a huge twirl and then goes into the splits.
Yeah. That's iconic.
And he like drops it back and he goes right on rock. I love that. Oh, I love that part so much. I'm a goofy goober rock.
The song that makes me smile. I could be in the grocery store like picking out an avocado and this song will come in my head and I will smile. Is Now That We're Men, we have facial
I like that one.
I changed my underwear.
Now That We're Men. I did like that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And when they started playing that song, I was like, where have I heard this? And I think you guys must have sang this
totally.
As we're realizing you guys have.
My underwear.
Hilarious. I loved that part.
I also love when this isn't a song, but an iconic scene is when he's getting like ice cream drunk after he like does it at the beginning, like waiter.
Yes.
Waiter.
Yes. Which is a TikTok sound, Kira, if you had ever heard that part
yes.
before.
Wow.
So maybe
Colton just
rung
told
a
me
bell.
that. And now it actually does. He was like, yeah,
it's
no, this is like on TikTok, which normally he doesn't actually tell me things about TikTok that I don't know. But it did connect the dots. That one was
very good.
That one was funny. Any other questions? I'll leave the floor open since
I do need you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10.
Ooh.
Okay, well, what are the like categories?
Nope.
Just in general.
Rate it. Scale of 1 to 10.
If you
just rate it. Don't think about it too much. Just rate it. Just rate it.
Okay.
We won't get mad at you.
Okay. I'm gonna rate it a solid 3.5
out of 10.
Yes. And listen,
I thought
my premise
a 5.
I know, geez.
A 5 would.
Oh my gosh! I said I wasn't gonna be mad, but that is.
Oh,
that's garbage. That's a garbage.
Well, I'm sorry, but this is why I give it a 3.5 because I did enjoy it. However, I would not watch it again. And considering all other movies, it just wouldn't be at the top of my game. And it's not like it was so bad that it deserved a 1 or 2. It was a 3.5 because it was in the middle, but it wasn't. It just
sounds like a 5 to me.
Yep. Okay, that 3 is in the middle, so
that didn't literally make any sense, but whatever.
Okay, well, I don't. To me, it didn't really.
It's all right. You know what? It's fine.
It's fine.
But
it's
also,
fine.
Okay, the quote came to me. A knucklehead McSpazatron.
Knucklehead McSpazatron. That's what it is.
In the crowd when they're like, this is all the attributes of SpongeBob. A knucklehead McSpazatron.
Like defending himself.
That was also so off the cusp that there were so many moments where I would literally look at Colton and I was like, what? But that was funny. I was like,
I like that.
Hilarious. So actually, after I remembered that, it does deserve a 4.
Okay.
I don't want your pity. I don't want your pity.
Also, this is so off topic, but you've said this phrase multiple times in our 15 episodes of recording, and I have to just point it out. You always say off the cusp.
I'm sorry,
but that's not the phrase.
It's not the phrase. What's the phrase?
It's off the cuff. Like
off the cuff. Like off my sleeve.
But
like
you've said it a couple times, and we've kind of let it go. But I can't let it go anymore.
There's only so many things we can say.
I think there's probably one thing per episode that you say that I'm like, that's 100%. Not the saying.
I'm in shock because I thought it was cusp.
No.
I had no idea it was cuff until the second. Off the cuff.
That's the thing is like you've said it really once, off the cuff. And I was like, I'm not even. It was probably an accident. And then you said it another time, and I was like, man, I think she really thinks that's it. And then you just said it again. I was like, nah, I don't know why. Yeah. Something.
Well, first of all, I don't really know I'm saying the same phrase 12 million times, so that's kind of weird. But also, I went my whole life, almost 28 years of life, thinking it's cusp.
Off the cusp. What is a cusp?
The thing is, I don't know.
You're on like the cusp of something.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
The cutting edge.
It's on the cusp. Maybe.
Yeah.
But that means something different, I think.
But it's not off the cusp.
Off the cuff is like random. Like I'm just saying it.
Just like I just thought of this. Like it
off
just
the
came
cuff.
to mind.
Yeah. Off the cusp.
Fascinating. You use the phrase to describe the phrase. Nice.
Okay. Well, now I'm in shock.
Are you looking it up?
I did because I wanted to see if maybe there's a hint of me thinking I'm right. No, yeah, it's not. It's confirmed. So it is on the cusp, though.
Yeah,
but that is not the phrase I mean.
Yeah, you're combining two phrases, and that doesn't work.
And the phrase I am meaning for the intention of what I'm saying is off the cuff.
Yeah.
So.
But you're gonna have to really train yourself to not say.
I know. I'm just gonna switch
you
phrases.
Almost said it right there.
I know. I need to switch phrases because
you and your cusp can go hang out with your laptop and
shush. I still call it laptop.
And Kira, again, what is the phrase?
No.
What is it?
Okay,
you have to say
it. Is either on the cusp or off the cuff.
That
is like nails,
and
on
they're
a
two
chalkboard.
Different meanings.
Yeah, I don't know why you would ever, use both of them, but yeah, that's in a roundabout way.
Find a way to use one of them.
Apparently,
Kira,
all the time.
Honestly, no, this is what it is. You like your food like a salad. You mix it all up. You like your sentences like a salad too. You mix them all up. You mix different sentences together and make one salad of a sentence.
You just hit your tooth.
I did just hit my tooth with the mic, and not gonna lie, it's ringing and ouch. It hurts. I wanted to play that off, but then I audibly said ouch.
And also, my ears were ringing from your tooth vibrations.
So Owie. Okay, Case, you go. I think that rounds up my part. Also, if you are a SpongeBob fan, let us know in the comments. Tag us in all the things we want to know. And also, if you haven't ever,
comment on a post if you've in fact heard Kira say one of these things and thought, huh, is that it?
And thought, yeah, if I'm making you question your own self, I'm doing my job.
That's so funny.
So we're gonna start doing like Kira's quotes. So please tag, like when you hear one, like tag us in it. Like, hey, I heard this quote from.
There's too many. We need to start taking notes during our
I've been
episodes
taking mental notes. That's what this was.
There's just too many, and I know it, and that's why sometimes when I bring things to your attention, I'm like, I know you're gonna make fun of me for this. And I want to preface that so that I feel like I get a lower blow.
Yeah.
Like you controlled it. Even okay.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. All right, Case.
Okay. To completely switch moods, which I feel like every time we switch moods, it always is me bringing the mood down. I watched A Star Is Born. Now, this movie came out in 2018. So, like Kira, I'm a little bit behind the times. Mary, you're probably the worst though with your behind the times movie because your movie came out in like the 60s. So, but Everybody heard Shallow for is every freaking song for like ever. So
good.
Without context of the movie, this song is so annoying. I'm just going to say that. Like not knowing anything behind it, just hearing this and then
like it's good the first time you hear it. Like think about Chainsmokers Roses. Like or that song or what was that? The one
or
so
Closer.
Baby pull me closer. Like that song was so good at first and then so overplayed.
And then
that's how Shallow
just
was.
overdone.
So
I think it's just overdone.
That's how Shallow felt to me. So and I had never seen the movie and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, you have to see it." And I
can you
I
sing
said
a
earlier
bit for us?
In the shallow. Oh my gosh, is that Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga, is that you?
Nope, it's me. But I didn't want to watch it because everyone was into it and it was just annoying. So I waited
until
almost
we forced
6
you.
years and I watched until you forced me.
This is just a fun fact about Casey. She will not jump on the bandwagon on the get-go because she does want to be different. She doesn't want to just follow the crowd, but she will eventually
it's a little
come around when
it's
it's
you,
no
honestly.
longer. It is a little four-ish. I do agree.
But the thing is, I'll get there eventually.
You will.
I just want to get there on my own time.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want you to tell me that I need to get there. I'll get there later.
Absolutely.
I'll get there when I feel like it. So I'm going to start at the beginning. And I do remember the plot because I just watched it last night. So
it's fresh.
First off, Bradley Cooper is an amazing singer. I knew he was good because I listened to Shallow and I was like, oh, that was good. But to actually like listen to watch the full movie, I was very impressed with his music.
Yeah, I was shocked by that actually.
Like, I was like, geez, maybe you picked the wrong profession. But this was a really good blend. Obviously, he did a phenomenal job. Really, I have no complaints towards the acting. None of that. Now, where I start to get a little bit like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I feel like we're pushing it. Is he wanted to go to a bar. He randomly goes to this dive bar, and every Friday they do drag performances, right? And so she happens to be performing that night. Her name's Allie, also Lady Gaga, if you haven't seen the movie. Also, huge spoiler alerts. Pretty much the whole movie. So just heads up. If you haven't seen it, skip me.
For all these movies, they're all spoiler alerts. Yeah.
But the fact that he like loved her performance, which was amazing, by the way. It was a classical performance done in French. I was obsessed with that. Yeah. It reminded me of like my vocal lessons days. And I was like, her breath control, like I was nerding out about that. So I was very, very much into that. But then at the end, when he decided that he liked her so much, he was going to just go back into the dressing room. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, I had the same thought first time.
That's weird. I was like, what are you doing back there? You don't know anybody. What are you doing? So that part, I was like, okay. And then he was just like extremely forward, like that whole night. Can you imagine if you literally just met a man and he was like all up on you and like, I don't know. Yeah. I just felt like it was like
I feel like
intense.
Things like that. Have you guys ever watched How I Met Your Mother? Or do you know that show at all?
A little bit. I haven't watched like
here and there.
There's one episode where they talk about the Doppler Dahmer effect. So like I don't know the Doppler reference. I think that's
Dahmer?
Like Dahmer, yeah. Oh. So
like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer. And then I think the Doppler one is from, I'm going to look it up so that we have it factual. What's the movie with the guy that holds the radio over his head? It's like some 90s movie or 80s movie.
The Breakfast Club.
Is that The Breakfast Club?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
When you walk on by
and he holds,
Joe, will you call my name?
But that's the one where he holds the thing up? Oh, I thought that was a different movie. But it's that guy. I think his last name is something with Doppler. I don't know, but that's what they're referencing. So it's like a romantic act, depending on if you like the person or not, is creepy like a Dahmer. Can you imagine if like Jeffrey Dahmer did that? Yes. That'd be creepy. Yeah. Or if it's someone that you like and you think is like cute, them doing it is like, oh, they did that for me, you know? So I feel like that plays a role in this part.
Sure. I do get that. I still feel like she's a smart enough girl that I don't know. I feel like she was kind of just like accepting his advances. And I was just like bold. Everyone was just, I was like very bold. Also, I felt like the day the night was the longest night ever. Like what time
100%.
did all of this start? And then like, I know she was out all night, but it felt like the night lasted a long time. I was like, man, she performed. Then he waited for her afterwards. Then they went to another bar. Then she punched somebody. Then they went to the convenience store. She got peas on her hand. I was like, that is a lot of things to happen in one night. But anyway, besides that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get over it because it is what it is. So after that, and he wanted her to go to his gig the next night, and she's like, no, I got to go to work. I also was obsessed with the dynamic of her living with her dad and all of his like best friends.
Yeah.
I thought that was so cute. Also, where was this movie? Like, where was she from?
I don't know. I'm envisioning like
I don't know if they ever really
Chicago suburb or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm envisioning.
Because her dad obviously had a New York accent.
Oh yeah. Or like maybe something like Boston or like
Jersey or something. Yep. Something East Coast, but like they weren't, like I could tell they weren't in the East Coast because then at one point they got on his motorcycle and drove to Arizona, and I was like, okay, so they must be kind of close to Arizona because to commit on a motorcycle.
Maybe it was
and
LA?
Then I was just confused.
Maybe it was LA.
Maybe, but then I was like,
it is LA.
Would he be in LA?
I just looked it up.
Oh, okay.
It is LA.
Okay. That's still a long motorcycle drive to get to Arizona.
Yeah.
Sheesh. And they got there in like an hour, it felt like. I don't know. I would just say the timeline from like days felt really long. And also the love story as a whole felt like they knew each other for a day, but like somehow all of these things happened.
It escalated quickly.
And I know that shouldn't really hang me up, but it does. Stuff like that hangs me up. Like when people don't shut a door after they enter a room, I'm like, who's going to shut that door? And I can't move on until I figure out that door is shut. I'm that type of movie person. So besides that, the music was incredible. I love how he invited her out to sing her song. The other thing, I was like, how did he come up with that arrangement after she just sang the song in the parking lot? But I was like, I'll let it go. Let it go. Very impressed just by their ability to sing together. Obviously, Lady Gaga's an amazing performer, so it's not like I'm surprised that she did well, but like she had me believing that she was just a server girl, like working in this place. Like she actually did a really, really good job. And it was refreshing to see her with no makeup on, to just kind of like know what she actually looked like.
Stunning. That was one of my takes from the movie.
She's super pretty. Yeah. And I really liked her with red hair. I really liked that. I also thought it was really symbolic. Like in the beginning of the movie, she didn't want to change her hair, and then she did change her hair, and then all that stuff happened, and then at the end, she went back to her natural color. I thought that was kind of cute. I'm really glad that he went to rehab. I think that was excellent. Her winning that Grammy and him like on stage, I was like, I had a pillow over my head.
I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed.
Bryce was watching it with me, and he goes, "What is happening?" I'm like, I need to do you know that feeling where you like want to crawl to your skin and like you're witnessing something and like you're embarrassed so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Like secondhand embarrassment.
And it's not even just that. It's more of just like, I don't even want to know that a scenario like this could ever exist. Yeah. So I just want to like disappear.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Even though I knew it wasn't real. Yeah. But I was like, this is the worst thing ever. And it felt super real, and I was like so embarrassed for her. I was so embarrassed for Allie. I was like, this is her first Grammy. Like, why would you do this to her? But obviously he was messed up and not right with the head. But I was really proud of her and her career throughout. And I think he had a career that he could have been proud of, but he just obviously got too wrapped up into drugs and alcohol. I think one of the most precious moments of the entire movie is when him and Bobby kind of made peace at the end when he says to him, I wasn't idolizing Dad, I was idolizing you. Yeah. I was like, come on. That's so sweet. And I didn't like Allie's manager from the beginning, and I definitely didn't like Allie's manager at the end. I was upset with that man.
Remind me what happened.
And I think he's the reason.
What happened at the end again with the manager?
So after, it's Bradley Cooper, but what's his name in the movie? I don't know. Bradley Cooper.
Wait, what? Bradley Cooper's the love.
I know. After Bradley Cooper got out of rehab, but I can't remember what what was his stage name? Austin or something? Did I make that up?
His character's name? I don't even remember.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. But after he got out of rehab, after he got out of rehab, he was at home waiting for Allie, and Allie's manager stopped by. And he goes, oh, well, Allie isn't here, but you can come on in. And he goes, okay, I'll just wait till Allie gets here. And he's drinking like a tonic water with a lime, right? He's not actually drinking, but he's, trying to, get the vibe without actually drinking. And he said, we all know it's a matter of time before you actually pick up a real drink. You are the reason Allie's career will never go further. You are now the laughing stock.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember that. What the heck?
And Allie will never move forward if you're attached to her, essentially.
Man.
Wow.
And I was like, what a low thing to say.
Yeah.
Like, he's 2-3 months sober, and that's what you're going to say. And obviously your job is to care about Allie and all of that. But like, at the end of the day, Allie's personal life is way more important than her professional life, but he's not worried about that, obviously.
Do you think there was a love from the manager to Allie?
I wasn't getting any of that vibe, because I thought about it for a second, but I didn't really get that vibe, and I think he maybe was even gay. I don't know. He just didn't ever seem into Allie in that way at all. So I was thankful for that. I love that they stayed like true to each other the whole time, because I'm always sick of these, like, why is everyone
like the
cheating on each other?
crossover?
Like, that's so annoying.
Oh, and Cooper's character is Jack. That's
Jack. Okay, Jack. So when he said that to Jack, obviously that was really devastating for him to hear. He knows he already messed up. Can you imagine like making a fool of yourself like that in front of one of the biggest audiences ever? Yeah. And then you already feel horrible enough, but your family is forgiving you, and you're on the road to forgiveness. And then someone says something like that to you, like you are ruining your wife's career by just literally existing and staying married to her. So as someone who's not currently in a good mental state, what is a man supposed to do with that kind of information? And in that moment, I was like, you need to go to a meeting. Mm-hmm. Like, you need to go to a meeting. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like at the TV.
Yes. I'm like, go to a meeting. And then Allie wants to go on tour with him, but her manager's like, there's absolutely no way I'm ever going to let that happen, right? And like, it's not going to happen. Like, he's not coming on tour. I don't literally care what you say. He's not coming. And so he knows all this, Jack, and basically Allie says to him, I'm just going to stay home for the summer. I decided that I'm not going to tour overseas. Like, I don't need to, and whatever. And in that moment, you can see him like, yep, I'm the reason that's happening. And she goes, hey, I have a show tonight. I'd love for you to come. For the last song, I'm going to do Shallows. I would love for you to sing it with me. Like, the fans will go crazy for you. And he goes, yeah, I'll be there. And like, you can just tell like he's lying.
Yeah.
And then she gets up to leave, and she's walking away, and he goes, hey. And she turns around and he goes, I just want to get one last look at you, which is what he says in the beginning of the movie. And I knew as soon as he said that, he was going to leave her. Now, I didn't know what leaving meant. I just knew he wasn't going to be there anymore.
Yeah, talk about it.
And it was so sad, because I was like, man, he just thinks so lowly of himself right now, and he needs help, but no one knows he's struggling, and no one knows the manager said that to him, and he's not going to say anything because he knows it's true. And then Allie leaves for her show, and he goes to the garage and finds the last little bit of pills that he has, takes them just to numb himself, and ends his life. And it was like shocking.
Yeah.
Like, obviously you knew what he was about to do, because it was very obvious.
Yeah, he's
like,
in the garage, the lead up to it, but he turns on the car,
right,
like
with a belt, and yeah. And so you knew it was going to happen, but at the same time, it was like, this can't be happening, like this, and it was so sad, and it's also like a pain we'll never be able to fully understand, unless we're someone on that level, which, watching their lives, it just looks miserable. I mean, like, I'm sure there's a lot of really cool things about it, and you get to tour, you get to go to all these places, you get to perform, you get to do what you love, like, that's awesome. But not being able to go out in public and have people recognize you constantly, that's sad. So it was just, I don't know, it was hard to watch, but it's also hard to understand. But I'm sure, like, if you were a celebrity watching that movie, I'm sure you were like, oh my gosh, yes, this movie's for me. So I'm happy for people that could relate to it. But it's just like mental illness and the disease of alcoholism and drug abuse and all of that stuff. It's so prevalent everywhere. Doesn't matter if you're a superstar or not. So that kind of brought that to light, and just people's hard time, like, oh, I'm going to quit. And then you quit like 2 days, but then times get tough and you don't know how else to turn because you've developed no other coping mechanism besides bad habits of drinking and alcohol or drug abuse. So that was really sad. And I think like Lady Gaga's song at the end.
Oh my gosh.
So powerful.
I'll never love again. That weeping.
Weeping. Like I remember when I was singing at my grandma's funeral, and I remember I choked up for a second, and I was like, pull it together. Pull it together. Just get through the song. And there's something about like singing, like for me, when I am singing and I get in that state, it's really easy for me to like block things out and just be in the song and not think about anything. And that was my grandma's death, which had a huge impact on me, as you guys know. But to lose your husband to suicide, and then to go and perform a song that he wrote for you, and perform
when it
for you on the piano in your home,
and like you could see like him writing this song for her.
That's what I love about film and art and stuff like that, is that like that it captures you like that. Like the fact that we are all like, you can't watch that scene without weeping. Like that is what is beautiful about the theater and about film.
Well, and it just feels so real. Like obviously we know that these two people are totally fine and everything's fine, but it just felt so real.
Yeah.
And then obviously, when he died at the end and everyone's playing his songs and playing tribute to him. And I really liked how they included how Bobby, his older brother, was mad that they were playing his songs. Like now they appreciate him. It's like, why couldn't they appreciate him before? But it's like, it's so classic of just human nature, where we don't realize how we act until we see basically the outcome of what we did. And so I don't know, I just thought the movie overall very fascinating. A few plot holes for me personally in terms of timeline and just I don't know, but overall, if I were to rate the movie,
what would you rate it?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd rate it an 8.
That's
a very good rating.
Yeah, I would watch it again.
I think definitely. I would rate it also that, even though because I was the same way. I also saw it fairly recently, like within the last 3 months. And I feel like a lot of people that had watched it right when it came out were like, this movie is so good. Like the love story in it, the music. And I'm like, amazing. The ending, I honestly did not see it coming, that when he did commit suicide, I was so frustrated. I honestly thought it was going to end there. Like he commits suicide, it was going to end, the movie was going to end. So I'm glad of some resolution.
There was some sort of resolution.
In the sense of her like kind of bringing him to life with like through song and whatever. And I think it kind of ended it and made it more final because of that last scene. But I kid you not, I was so thrown for a loop because I did not think that it was going to come to that. But I think it did catch me off guard, and for that reason, it's still, I agree, it would be in the 7 or 8 range, because the story of it is intriguing to me. Truly, A Star Is Born, LOL. But like that is like, obviously the plot of it. I didn't like, though, a lot of things that Jack had said to Allie that I'm like, this feels like manipulation, or this feels a little bit of borderline emotional
abusive. Totally.
And I think that a lot of people in talking about the movie kind of painted over a lot of these things, so that when I watch it for the first time, I'm like, oh, I didn't like that. Oh, he's making her change all of these things about her, or like making her feel bad for just blowing up, but like you're kind of the one that helped her blow up, so now you're having a resentfulness. So I think there's a lot of like different avenues that you could go down, but
I think
the music in it,
craziest thing, the music was incredible. But I think the craziest thing is what he sought after and desired so deeply, and then was able to love on the deepest level, ended up killing him. And then what she was able to find and gain, which was stardom and a career and a passion for music that she never thought she'd be able to, ended up killing off the thing that she loved the most, which was Jack. So it was super, super symbolic, and they did a great job with it, and it was really sad. I mean, I would watch it again, but I need to give myself a little bit of a break because that's a bit of a heavy roller coaster. Yeah.
Wasn't there something with Jack's hearing too? Like it started going.
Yeah, I think that's part of why he was coping with like drugs and alcohol, was because he knew his career was ending. Like this is what he's been living for, was his music, and now he feels like he can't do it his way anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was kind of like an old dog, didn't want to learn new tricks too, which kind of
in-ears are
made
good.
me a little bit mad, but
in-ears are great.
In-ears are so good.
Use them.
In-ears are great. Use them.
Man, Bradley Cooper though.
That's me.
Phenomenal singer.
Impressed.
So
impressed. Just I think
so
the acting was great. Just the writing had a few plot holes, but I can also get over it. It's not the end of the world.
Okay, plot holes or potholes?
Plot holes.
Plot holes.
Okay. I was like, maybe Casey's saying the funny thing. No.
Nope. Sorry.
She's saying it right.
I want to be on your side and support you on that.
I know,
no.
Mare. Come on.
I'm sorry. No, she said
help me
plot
out.
holes.
Let's ban against Casey.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of potholes all over the movie.
I got a bunch of flat tires while I was watching this movie.
Loose screws.
Okay, Mare, you're going to bring up the mood.
Yes.
Down the mood with our final movie.
Yes.
I'm
so
excited.
I was tasked with
Also, don't ruin my childhood.
Yeah. No. One thing you need to know about me. I'm an iPad kid through and through. It does not take much to entertain me.
That's amazing.
Like basically any show I watch or any movie I watch, I'm going to like it. Because if I'm entertained, I like
golden
it.
retriever. I'm in a human form.
I'm
Great.
easily pleased. Sorry, I couldn't find that word.
Great. I was like, yeah, what where's she going with this?
Unless I will say movies I don't like are like sports movies, or I don't really like animal movies. Like Air Bud, get out of here. I don't really like
That's
that.
fine.
But
That's
Mary
fine.
Poppins is neither of those. So I was tasked with watching Mary Poppins. And I will say the OG one, with Julie Andrews.
The OG.
Dame Julie Andrews. And I will say I did watch this one of our local theaters did it like a year ago, and one of my friends was cast as Mary Poppins. So I did see that. So I knew kind of the plot of it. But the movie, and you have to think about it in the context of 1960, whenever it came out. Like, I don't know, was it 1960?
You said that really confidently.
I don't know, but it was
well, because I said it earlier that it was in the 60s.
Oh,
whenever it came out, the graphics of it, obviously today, are not great, but for that time,
true,
amazing. Like the things that they were able to do in the movie. Thank you, Kiera. The things they were able to do in the movie, like pulling stuff out of her bag while the kid is sitting under her bag, like the graphics of that, or even like the cartoons
sorry, but that still
together.
Gets me. That still gets me.
Yeah, I will say that for that time was, I can imagine, like awe-inspiring,
iconic.
Yes, totally. I love when they're riding the horses. And there's cartoons in the background. Yeah. Like that was really cute. And like Dick Van Dyke picking up cool. the cartoon fox and it actually looking like it's in his hand. Like those graphics are very, very good for that time. So I appreciate that. The acting, was great. Julie Andrews is just amazing.
I love her.
Her voice is amazing. She's a real life Disney princess. I could have done without Dick Van Dyke's accent. I kind of was like, do you have a speech impediment with it? Like,
that's fair.
I was a little disappointed in that.
Totally. I totally know what you mean.
Totally. Like, I don't know. I can't even mimic it. I'm not even going to.
It's a joy all day with my way.
Yeah, he doesn't say his R's really. I don't know.
I know.
So I could have done without that.
Line.
It was just a little too
I think he's trying so hard.
Yeah.
That it's bad.
Yeah. But But great guy though. Great guy. The rest of the movie was great.
Individually.
Let's see what else. I don't know.
You just watched it.
I just watched it. I know.
Even more fresh.
Overall,
3 hours ago.
I know. I was thinking about it. I was like, what am I even going to talk about? I don't know. I'm pleased. I don't know if it's like I need to watch it again necessarily. I could see why like kids think it's entertaining. Oh my gosh. One thing I will say, I was not expecting it to be 2.5 hours. Holy cats.
Oh yeah. It's a long movie.
And like an hour of it in time probably is just them like dancing.
I know.
Like there's like a solid, like when they're on the roof, like with the chimney sweeps, there's like a solid 10 minutes where they're just dancing. And I could see where like a child watching it would be like entranced, but I'm not going to lie to you. I skipped. I did the 10-second skip.
Meredith!
Guys, I was also in a time crunch.
Okay. You were like, I have 10 minutes to kill.
Yeah.
Or like catch up on.
So I did skip through some of that.
The beginning of the movie, though. That is more of the beginning.
No, the chimney sweeping is towards the end. So there's that. I did do that. I didn't love the dad's character. I don't know.
Oh, he's a douche.
He's a douche.
We like
I don't think we're supposed to like him. You know, he's kind of a D-bag.
And he's supposed to come around at the end, but I'm like, the damage is done.
Well, and if I'm using like the realistic scale, which it's Mary Poppins, it's not realistic. I'm like, there's no way he would turn around that quickly and suddenly be like, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's hilarious, you know? Yeah. So, but anyways. So overall, I don't know. I thought it was a good movie. I think if I would have watched it as a child, I would have really liked it. As a 27-year-old, it was good. You know?
Tell me your favorite song of the whole
thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, there's so many good songs.
I really liked what's the Toppins?
The bird.
Yeah, that one.
Toppins.
I was watching it and Noah was like, Mary Toppins? He was like, what are Toppins? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. But I think it's the money, right?
It's the money. Yeah. It's the money.
I realized that with context then once they're in the bank. And I was like, oh, duh. But I did like that song. I thought that song was pretty.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Did you know the Superfragilistic song came from there? Did you know the tie there? Or no?
That's where Supercalifragilistic.
She would have known it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And actually, so this is how much of a iPad kid I was growing up. Obviously, I say iPad kid, but iPads weren't a thing when I was a kid. I just watched a lot of TV. Where do you guys remember?
So not an iPad kid.
But I'm the like early 2000s
the generation before an iPad kid, but like you almost were an iPad. You had a Nintendo DS.
Totally.
Okay, so you were a Nintendo.
Like in
DS
the summer,
kid.
I was watching TV like 5 hours a day.
Gotcha.
That's a lie. It was probably 6 or 7.
It was actually probably like every.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a lot.
Hours.
But it's fine. I'm okay. So there was this commercial on Disney Channel where they interviewed these like the Broadway actors who were doing Mary Poppins. Casey's nodding. Do you remember this commercial? Mm-hmm. And they spelled out like supercalifragilistic, like SUPERCALIF. RAGAL, and they went through. I had that memorized when I was a kid because I watched that specific commercial so much.
Because if you watch Disney Channel, they just literally just replay constantly ads all the time.
Yeah. So I did know what that was. I knew how to spell it. I thought it was really cool because I knew how to spell it. I don't know right now. I can replay that song the whole way through.
Pretty much did half of the word.
Yeah. I mean, I'm smart.
Yeah.
So anyways, if I were to rate it, I mean, it does not, Kiara, you kind of spoke into this when you were talking about SpongeBob. It does not have the nostalgia factor for me. So that does play a part. I would say I would still give it like a 6 in the sense of like classic movie. I would definitely show it to my children and hope that they had some sort of connection to it. I just didn't have a core memory with it necessarily, but I can appreciate that in its time, it was a revolutionary movie.
Yeah.
See, that's a really, really good answer.
Thank you.
That is a really good answer.
Thank you.
So, I agree.
And a 6, that's a really respectable number.
Thanks.
So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for recognizing what it was for people.
Totally.
Unlike some
I was going to say, I feel like you're giving me freaking daggers for eyeballs right now.
I wasn't looking at you. I wasn't looking at you.
Well, we're all on a screen, so.
Well, I wasn't looking at you.
I'm in your peripheral, no matter what. I will say about Mary Poppins, too, I feel like maybe this is just my bias towards Julie Andrews, since she's also in Sound of Music, but I feel like there was a couple, like, ties in of, like, coming and nannying and the kids and the dancing and the singing. Yeah. I'm like, there were some, like, crossovers when I watched Sound of Music that I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. You know, different plot line, but the same kind of idea where legit the same actor playing a similar role, which is so fitting for her because not only is she just so musically gifted, like she does have that just like motherly presence and the kind of presence I'm like, I'm gonna correct you and make you soft and dainty, kind of help guide you, but not be like an overbearing, like, I don't know, mother figure in
the
she
movies. Just made everything so fun. Everything.
I didn't love. I understand this. Yes, she is. I didn't understand. I understand this. I didn't love how, like, at the end, they're, you know, the kids are crying because she has to leave, and they're like, "Don't you love us? Like, aren't you going to miss us?" And she's like, "Well, what would happen to me if I loved every child that I took care of?" You know, as if like she doesn't. Whereas we know she probably does. But I was like, "Oh, like that made me kind of sad. I didn't like that, Mary."
I think it was like, if I stayed with you, then there's a whole nother group of children out there that would never be able to get part of me. And so if I always stayed with, but
can't she just say
practically perfect in every way?
Can't she just say, "I love you too, children," and move on?
I think her thing though is she's just kind of aloof.
I know.
Like, we know her, but there's still so many question marks around her.
You know what?
How does she write a cloud?
She has emotional boundaries. She doesn't need to say things for other people. She knows who she is, and I respect that.
And that's why you didn't like it, and that's why
I hate it. That's why. Actually, it's a 3.5. So,
I actually want to watch the recent one with Emily Blunt.
Not worth your time.
Really? Okay.
You saw it?
Okay, good to know.
Mm-hmm.
What was so like bad
she
about
was
it?
More like cross of a Mary Poppins.
I don't like that.
She didn't have like all of those embodiments of like what we talked about, where we're like, she's so motherly. She wasn't really like that when she was like, "Sit up straight, Michael." It was more of like,
was it giving like her role as the assistant in The Devil Wears Prada? Yes. But as a nanny?
A little.
I hate that.
A little.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Yeah. And like, and I know she said that she didn't watch the old Mary Poppins in preparation for it because she wanted to be her own version of Mary Poppins. But at the same time, I was like, maybe you should watch it.
You're right. How would she have known?
Yeah, I don't know. And maybe she saw it like when she's younger, but like when she got the role, she didn't want to like rewatch it, which I don't know. It's something about Julie Andrews. You just like, if someone remade The Sound of Music, I'd be like, good luck.
That's true.
No.
There'd just be no comparison.
No, there's no comparison. So it is what it is. But I would say don't watch it. It's not really worth your time. Sorry if you love that version, but it's just not it for me.
My theory is if people really love the newer versions of things, it's because they haven't seen the OG. Like Pride and Prejudice, for example. I'm going to die on this hill. The original Pride and Prejudice that is like 5 hours long. It's long.
The one with
is so
Keira Knightley?
No,
or is that not the original one?
The newer one. That's not the original one.
I haven't seen the original one.
I guess I didn't even know that.
The original one is with Colin Firth. I don't even know who plays.
That's old.
It's old, but it is so good. And so when the new one came out, I was like, yeah, it's good. But I'm like, but the original, that's probably like people who are into books and movies. They're like, the original book is way better than the movie. And I can kind of see that tie of, you know, different themes in movies and whatnot. But that's just kind of fun to have like kind of a challenge for us to watch these movies and to come together.
I like that. And I think as we move into the holiday season, you will see this type of episode come up again.
Yeah.
We're going to challenge each other to watch absolutely just gross Hallmark movies that are just so bad that they're good. And we're really excited to break those movies down for you. But that'll come a little bit more towards the holiday season. But yeah, here's just a little preview of it today. But this was a lot of fun, and all of our movies were so different.
I know.
So
couldn't be more.
Honestly, so random.
Different.
Couldn't be. I know. So random.
SpongeBob: A Star Is Born and Mary Poppins.
I know. So weird.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Well, Mare, what are you bringing down the mood with today?
All right. So I have 2 options for us, okay? Last week I didn't get an option. This week you do.
Oh,
yay.
Number 1, name a time you overreacted and knew in the moment you were overreacting, but you just couldn't help it. So that's number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, tell me a fictional character that you've had a crush on at some point in your life.
They're both so different.
Are either of those?
I think I like the second one.
Okay.
I think I like the second one.
Kiera, what do you think?
I think I like the second one too.
Kiera.
Okay. Well, since I came up with this, I do have an answer. Right. I'll say mine so you guys can think about it. I'm going to pull up a picture of him.
If you pick who I'm like thinking, I'm going to hurt you.
I would be shocked because this is not your type at all. Growing up, I was obsessed with the movie Atlantis.
The guy with the glasses.
The Lost City of Atlantis. And guys, Milo Thatch in Atlantis can get it. He's like the perfect, like, nerdy, but like.
So basically Noah. So that's actually Noah.
That kind of is
That
Noah.
is even
actually
with the glasses.
And then there's this
funny.
Okay, this is inappropriate kind of, but there's like this one scene where he like has his shirt off too, and he's like this nerdy guy, but I'm like, whoa, he's like buff underneath all those clothes. So anyways, like he just is so cute.
That's funny.
So anyways, I had a huge crush on him. I was obsessed with watching that. Oh, here's a meme that compares him to Tom Holland. I could kind of see that a little bit. So that's kind of fun.
Okay.
So anyways, I think he must be cast as him in some movie that's coming up, I guess. But anyways, I also loved the gal in that too. I used to pretend. Have either of you seen that movie?
She was so pretty. Yeah, she's
I'm gonna not lie, no.
Okay, you actually should watch it. That's our next movie, Kiera. That one is so good.
Do need to watch
that. There's this one scene where she gets like lifted up with this necklace, and then like. And like this light kind of pours out of her. I used to mimic that scene in my bedroom, like playing pretend.
That's so
because I was so little.
This
was still like pretend was an acceptable thing to play at this age. But I would pretend that and like that I was like this like mystical orb and that Milo Thatch was in love with me. So anyways,
that's really funny.
That's mine.
That's funny.
That's really, really funny. Okay, Kiera, do you have someone?
Oh, I do. Mine is Tarzan. I have just always felt like Tarzan was hot, buff, always without his shirt on, just swinging through the jungle. You know, who doesn't love a man who's one with nature?
Rugged.
A little rugged, little rough around the edges. So he's one. I was reading this article. I literally was like, okay, I need to have some more people that come to mind rather than Flynn Rider. And he was the only one. I'm like, I don't want to.
Flynn Rider literally instantly came to my mind, but I was like, I already said it. I can't say it.
Exactly.
Totally.
Exactly. So I was like, he needs to go and someone new needs to come in. And so Tarzan would definitely be one. But I also feel like, sorry, I'm literally scrolling through this because I just saw him, unfortunately. And
Li Shang from Mulan.
Oh no, the prince from Princess and the Frog.
Oh, that's
also
Naveen, Prince Naveen.
So that is a movie I haven't seen in ages. I need to circle back to.
I thought you were gonna say haven't seen.
Oh no, I have seen it, just not in years and years and years. But when I saw his photo come up, I was like, yes. And I just love the combination of like him in his like print suit, but then also with his little beret and sweater vest.
Oh yeah,
like so cute
with a little guitar.
Do kind of secretly hate his voice.
I don't remember his voice.
I forget what it sounds like. Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, princess, I'm Prince of Maldonia. Hey, I'm just a carefree kind of guy.
They almost made it to fit the frog and not him.
Yes, in the frog I liked it, and then when he became human I disliked it again.
Yeah. I was like, this doesn't
and
fit.
I hated it even more.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Case?
Are you done?
Yeah, sorry. That's it.
Okay. Okay, so I love the show Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
I've always
I rewatched that like 2 years ago. Even as an adult, still good.
Yeah. So I actually just watched it 2 nights ago, and I have the full series on DVD.
No way.
Even though it's on Netflix. Yeah. So I'm like nerd about it. Like I love it. It's one of those shows I can have on the background. I don't need to watch it because I can just hear it and I know exactly what's happening. Zuko, baby.
Zuko. Yeah.
He's on fire. He's on fire.
Okay?
Fire.
Little bad boy.
The scar makes it better somehow. Oh.
That's fair.
Do you like him with hair or without hair?
With. Oh, Shaggy the better. Shaggy the better.
Yeah.
Have you seen this, Kira? You're like not responding.
Well, I'm not responding because I was Googling who
he was because you haven't seen it.
Well, I didn't really want to like say that on the top of my sentence, but yeah, no, haven't seen it. Or if I
That's okay. It's okay if you haven't
seen it. Or if I
it.
have. There's just clearly every freaking episode I'm like, oh wow, I need to add that to my list. So this is just gonna become a
This just shows that you had a life
episode.
and we really didn't have a life.
You know, I'll take that. I'll take that. But I
loved my life though.
With SpongeBob and Avatar.
Yeah.
I am looking at it though, and I do see what you mean though. And I want to watch it. So
well, and if you heard his voice.
Okay,
it's the voice too. It's the combination of it's like
my father.
Oh, my father. I'm trying to get back my honor.
And when he's like
so
tense because it's the anime thing, so it's like and there's like a bead of sweat dripping kinda.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I really like it because I'm not really like into anime, but I think this is a nice soft launch between and if you love anime, you're probably like, that is not anime. Do not even say that. But if you've never watched anime and this is all you've seen, it's a really nice soft launch.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it. I think everyone honestly could like Avatar: The Last Airbender because I was obsessed with it and I told Bryce it's good and he's like, that looks like the stupidest show ever.
No, it's
so I was like, that's fine. And so I would just watch it and then he, like slowly came over and was like, oh wait, this is actually kind of good. I was like, I know. But never watch the movie. Avatar: The Last never watch the movie. It's so bad.
I never watched the movie.
It's Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is it's so bad.
Wait, so what should I watch?
It's a series.
Just the show. It's this TV show.
Just the TV
from
show.
Nickelodeon and it's on Netflix.
It's a couple seasons.
They called him Ong instead of Aang.
No.
That made me so mad.
Bad.
Oh, and everyone's whitewashed and it just sucks. So don't watch it. It's a waste of your time.
Honestly, Aang can get it too.
Yeah. Honestly, I was kind of going to say that too. Like the moments where you can tell he's grown up and he's like mastered all 4 elements.
But he's like goofy still. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. And then every once in a while, Sokka, I'm like, Sokka.
Not bad.
But then he says another joke and I'm like, yeah, no, you're right where you belong. But it's really good. So Kira, honestly, I swear that one is actually worth your time.
Yeah, that one actually
I'm looking
is
at the wall right now because I don't know what you're talking about.
It's okay.
But I honestly have heard amazing things. So I'm adding it to the list. And because Colton is part Japanese.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay. Why would you just spring that on us like in front of everyone? Well, oh my gosh.
Yeah, just hear the
like
podcast.
What kind of part are we talking?
Okay, a quarter.
Okay. Quarter's
significant.
Yeah, so mom's mom.
Okay.
But we were actually scrolling through right before we watched SpongeBob, we're just scrolling through. And then there's anime, I guess a show called Kiki's something. And I'm like, how fun. My own name is in a anime show. So he did say, though, it would be a good place to start. So that is also on my list. So literally, I'm going to not do anything with my life other than watch these shows, watch these movies, and then I'm gonna eat, sleep, and breathe.
Hey, that was my life growing up, so it's fine.
And honestly, I'm not mad about it.
You're just catching up. We'll catching up with our lives now.
Yeah,
I've had kids.
Exactly. Yeah, iPad kids.
But that's really cool. OMG, Colton.
Good job, Colton.
Yeah, just fun.
Feel free to drop more hints like that. That was kind of fun.
Yeah. Sorry, that was just kind of random. We were like anime, whatever.
Yeah.
But that was really fun, you guys. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. On all of our crazy rambles about movies that we have watched. We love you guys so much, and make sure to follow us on Instagram, on we're on Facebook. I don't know if we really publicly said that, but please go follow us on our Facebook page.
If you find yourself more Facebooky, then you just go ahead and hop over there.
Right.
Sometimes those reels get you,
Mom, Facebook's for you.
Yeah.
Facebook's for you. I did realize that we shout out moms a lot. I do want to take a quick, I know we're wrapping up, but like my dad right now is in Tampa at an Elevation Nights event, which is really fun. So my worship team, goes around and does all these like worship nights. And my dad's like, oh, I really want to go and like go to this worship night. So he went on a little solo date.
Aww.
And he sent a photo and he like got a little floor seat. I wish I was there to kind of like host him and whatever. So I'm kind of like, I hope that it's okay. But shout out to you, Dad, for, just being my dad, but also for being involved in my life. Because, when you're in your bubble, you're like, oh, this is my church. This is my worship team. But he gets to be immersed in it all the way from Florida. I love that. So
That's
how
so
fun.
Sweet.
So Facebook are for moms and dads.
Yeah, except my dad doesn't have Facebook. He just looks at my mom's Facebook. I don't know if you guys have dads like that. I guess I'm going to shout out my dad too, because I feel like if I don't now, I'm going to look
shout him out.
Not good. So hi, Dad. Hey, Gil. Love you. My dad is actually in a band. It's called the Old Man Band. They have CDs. They have shirts that say
Go follow them.
B for the wait, hold on. I'm so wrong.
What?
MB. Old Man Band. OMB. So it's just I know that was way too hard. So it's just like a black shirt and then it says OMB in white writing. That. And it's my dad plays the drums. He likes to have a good time and they do a lot of covers and love you, Dad.
And I don't think my dad listens to this. Truthfully. And I don't know how to spell his name. We've learned that before. I love you. You're pretty cool. He is on Facebook. He just comments on like political posts and thinks that no one can see his comments. Oh, and then I see them and I'm like, Dad,
why is that such a Keith move?
Dad,
I love you, Dad.
I will see that.
Oh, yeah. Well, we love you guys, and we'll see you next week on the podcast.
See you next time.
Bye. Bye.